Hello everyone. Welcome to PRP Coding YouTube channel. I am Praveen Ravindran Pillai. In this session, I shall explain about the Angular project structure. So let's start. Angular is built on TypeScript, which is a superset of JavaScript. So definitely our Angular project contains TypeScript configuration files. This project contains three TypeScript configuration files: tsconfig.json, tsconfig.app.json, and tsconfig.spec.json. Each configuration file has a specific purpose in the TypeScript compilation process. The ts.config.json is the root TypeScript configuration file that serves as the base for other more specific configuration. Some of the key features of this configuration files are strict type checking, modern JavaScript target. It set the target to ES 2022 to use the modern JavaScript features. Angular specific features like experimental decorators. Experimental decorators is enabled, which is required for Angular's decorator pattern, which we will be learning in upcoming sessions. Then, Angular compiler options. It has specific Angular settings for template checking and internationalization. Then we have project references. So let me scroll down. Here we have the references array. Instead of including files directly, it references more specific configuration via the references array. Now, if you look at the code here, what does this mean? It means that this tsconfig.json file is being used by the tsconfig.app.json file as well as the tsconfig.spec.json file. Okay, so now let's look at the tsconfig.app.json file. Now, this configuration specifically targets our application code. It extends our base configuration. It inherits all settings from the main tsconfig.json using the extends keyword. Here you can see that. Next, we have the compiler options. So in the compiler options, here you can see that there is an output dir. This means the output directory. So this is the place where the TypeScript compiler will transpile the TypeScript file to JavaScript, and that JavaScript files will be stored in this location. Then it has got file selection. Basically, it has got an include array as well as an exclude array. Now, it includes all the TypeScript files in the src directory with the include array. Now, what do you mean by this code src slash star star slash star dot ts? It tells the TypeScript compiler to include all TypeScript files found in the src directory and all of its subdirectories. This is a common include pattern in Angular project as it ensures all your TypeScript source files are compiled. So basically, any file which is having with the extension .ts is a TypeScript file. Similarly, it performs the same for the exclude as well. It's basically excluding this kind of file. So here it is excluding all the files which is having the extension .spec.ts. And we have one more TypeScript configuration file, that is the tsconfig.spec.json. This configuration file is specifically for our test files. So basically it's for testing purpose, the testing related configurations. It looks very similar to the tsconfig.app.json file. So how these files work together? The base tsconfig.json defines the common settings and strict type checking rules. The tsconfig.app.json is used when building your application code, and tsconfig.spec.json is used when running tests. This modular approach allows for different compilation settings between your production code and test code while sharing a common base configuration, which helps maintain consistency across your project. Now, let's look at the package.json file. The package.json file is a crucial configuration file for any Node.js based project, including your Angular application. It serves multiple important purposes. One of the most important roles of package.json is to list and manage all packages your project depends on. Dependencies. These are packages required for your application to run in production. Similarly, we have dev dependencies. So, dev dependencies means these are packages that are only needed during development and testing, not in production. So, when someone clones your project, running npm install will install all these dependencies based on this file. So, what do you mean by this? When you run the command npm install, it will go and check in the root directory whether there is a file called as package.json. Okay. If there is a file named as package.json, it will go and check, okay, what all are the dependencies and what all are the dependencies and what all are the dev dependencies. So based on the dependencies and the dev dependencies, it will go and install all these packages for your project. And the last part is the script definitions. The script section defines shortcuts for common commands. Like we have done npm start. The moment we gave the command npm start, the application started running in port number 4200 and a local development server got started. So how it started? The moment we started the server by using the command npm start, it will go and execute this Angular CLI command ngserve. This is happening behind the scenes. Similarly, if I go and run npm run build, it will go and execute the command ng build. Similarly, if I go and run npm run test, it will go and execute the Angular CLI command ng test. So the package.json file is essentially the manifest of your Angular project, defining what it is, what it depends on, and how to work with it. The package-log.json file is automatically generated by the Node Package Manager when you install a package in your project. Its primary purpose is to lock down the exact versions of all packages and their dependencies, ensuring that anyone who clones or installs your project will get the exact same environment and package versions you used. In short, the package.json declares the packages your project needs, and package-log.json guarantees that you, your teammates, and your build servers are all using the same identical set of dependencies. The angular.json file is a crucial configuration file for Angular projects. It is used by the Angular CLI to determine how your application should be built, served, and tested. The angular.json file is essential for controlling how your application is bundled and optimized, managing environment specific configurations, defining asset and style inclusions, setting up testing environments, and configuring the development server. When you run Angular CLI commands like ngbuild, ngserve, or ngtest, the command line interface references this file to determine exactly how to execute those commands for your specific project. The node underscore modules folder contains all the packages that are required for this Angular project. Then it contains a public folder. In this public folder, it contains all static files like images, fonts, and other resources that are not part of the application's code but are needed by it. Then we have the SRC folder. So this is the heart of the Angular application. All your code from components to styles lives here. When you are learning Angular, you don't need to memorize every single configuration setting. Instead, focus on understanding the purpose of each configuration file. Once you have a solid grasp of the basics, you can then dive deeper into the specific functionalities within each file. In the next session, I shall explain everything inside the SRC folder and the application flow. If you find this video helpful, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned for the next updates. Thank you.